Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we are unlocking the absolute secrets of the Cambridge IT 9626 syllabus, specifically focusing on topic 7.1, the advantages and disadvantages of expert systems. But listen, whether you're taking 0417, 0478, 2210, 9618, or our main focus today, 9626, the strategy is exactly the same. Think of these structural frameworks like magic spells. You just have to cast the right spell for maximum marks. Now, here is a fascinating revelation right off the bat. The difference between sitting comfortably at a B grade and crossing that threshold to secure a coveted A star incredibly often comes down to how well you truly mastered this exact topic. We aren't just going to memorize a list of pros and cons today. We are going inside the examiner's mind, using structured frameworks to guarantee we capture every single mark available. Here is our roadmap for today's session. 1. Core theoretical principles. 2. The method mark strategy. 3. Top examiner warnings. And 4. The evaluative thinking framework. Let's get right to it. Section 1. Core theoretical principles. So why is interpreting complex texts and data so incredibly hard when evaluating expert systems? It's a completely valid struggle. Let's think about two types of students. We'll call them Alex and Sam. When Alex gets a question on expert systems, they just overload the page with raw computer science facts, literally a brain dump of everything they know but with zero actual analysis. Sam, on the other hand, rushes the paper, completely missing the command word requirements. Both of them lose massive marks. Why? Because the assessment objectives here aren't just testing if you memorize the textbook definition. They are targeting distinct cognitive domains: your knowledge, your understanding, your practical application, and your critical analysis. When a paper presents you with a scenario about, say, a medical or financial expert system, they are testing your ability to process that specific, highly contextual data. The crucial distinction here is analytical depth versus superficial breadth. The academic benchmarks strictly prioritize analytical depth. What does that mean for you? It means logical, structured, and evidence-based reasoning will always score higher than a long, rambling paragraph that lacks systematic analysis. Remember our student Alex? If you just list 10 surface-level facts about expert systems, that's superficial breadth. The examiner doesn't want that. They want depth. They want you to use frameworks like peel, point, evidence, explanation, link to take 2 or 3 key advantages or disadvantages and rigorously analyze them within the context of the specific question. Before we continue, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon right now. Section 2, the method mark strategy. Here is the exact procedural framework for tackling these examination questions logically. This is your magic spell for success. Step 1, deconstruct the question. Decode the command word. Is it asking you to describe, explain, or evaluate? Step 2, extract relevant data from the texts or tables provided in the prompt. Step 3, select your analytical framework, like the Peel framework we just talked about, to organize your pros and cons. And Step 4, execute your answer with clear notation and terminology. If you follow this exact process, you are essentially gathering method marks along the way, proving to the examiner that your reasoning is systematically sound, even before they read your final conclusion. Now, what's really interesting here are the precise data interpretation skills that are absolutely critical to this methodology. Imagine you have a 60-second timer right now and a complex data table in front of you. You have to rapidly extract information from the provided texts or tables. You must interpret the relationships. For example, how does the extremely high cost of updating an expert system's knowledge base impact a small local business versus a global corporation? And finally, you draw evidence-based conclusions. You aren't just guessing, your conclusion is anchored directly and firmly in the data you just extracted. Section 3, top examiner warnings. Stop scrolling. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. We've helped thousands of students improve by 2-3 grade boundaries. Join them right now by subscribing to acetheexams_IGCSE and turn on all notifications so you never miss our weekly exam strategy sessions. Okay, let's talk about where students lose marks. Here are the top 3 warnings straight from the examiners themselves. Let's see if you can spot the flaw in your own answering habits. Number 1, using the wrong approach for the wrong context. You absolutely cannot just copy-paste a generic, pre-memorized answer about expert systems. It has to fit the specific scenario. Number 2, forgetting to check format and presentation. If the command asks for a report, you better give them a report format. And number 3, the absolute classic trap. Answers that are not specific to the context given. If the exam question is about a medical diagnosis expert system and you are writing about finding oil reserves, you are going to lose marks no matter how technically brilliant your statements are. I want to give this next point the academic weight it deserves because the principal examiners practically scream this in their annual reports. Quote, "Candidates consistently confuse key terminology. Always define terms before using them in extended responses." This is a massive alert for you. If you are discussing the knowledge base, the inference engine, or the user interface of an expert system, take a brief moment to actually define what that term means in your response. It immediately signals to the grader that you are an expert who knows exactly what you are talking about. Practical application in computer science isn't just about using the software. It's the development of professional skills. That means applying correct formats, using the appropriate terminology we just discussed, and evaluating performance. When you write a well-structured, precisely worded, and properly formatted PL paragraph, you are actively demonstrating practical application to the examiner. That doesn't just look good, it directly, measurably translates into higher marks. Section 4, Evaluative Thinking Framework. Let's move to the absolute summit of the grading criteria. This is what separates the A-star candidates from the rest of the pack. Mastering critical analysis requires a core problem-solving loop. Deconstruct, solve, evaluate. First, you deconstruct by identifying the given information and breaking it into logical steps. Then, you solve systematically. Finally, and this is genuinely where the magic happens, you evaluate. You check your findings for reasonableness, and you make justified recommendations. You don't just list the pros and cons of the expert system, you weigh them against each other and make a final, justified call based entirely on the evidence. To do that effectively, you must rigorously evaluate the quality of the evidence you are working with. How do top-scoring candidates actually do this? They identify the limitations of the expert system in the given scenario. They actively note any assumptions that have been made in the provided data. They consider alternative interpretations, and, crucially, they assess how all of these factors affect the final conclusions. It is a highly analytical, almost forensic approach to answering the question. It's not just what you know, it's how you prove it. Ultimately, top-scoring candidates don't just accept the exam scenario at face value. They question the underlying assumptions. They consider entirely different perspectives. For instance, how does the implementation of the expert system affect the business owner versus the end user versus the IT technician maintaining it? And above all, they justify their decisions with solid evidence. This rigorous, justified approach is your ultimate blueprint for mastering the advantages and disadvantages of expert systems. Students who implement these computer science strategies see an average improvement of 2 grade boundaries, but only if they practice consistently with our weekly videos. Here's your final reminder. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ace the Exams, at @acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Subscribe right now to @acetheexams_IGCSE and click that bell. Don't let another exam pass you by. So I leave you with this final thought. Are you just memorizing facts, or are you ready to systematically deconstruct, solve, and evaluate like an A-star candidate? Drop a comment below with your target grade for computer science and the biggest challenge you're facing. Our team responds to every comment. Like and share this video with a study partner. Ace the Exams, your Cambridge success starts here.